is good, ladies and gentlemen? We are doing a Marvel Rivals video today, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to be using Moon Knight in this particular video. He's one of my favorite hit scan characters to utilize, really, in Marvel Rivals. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. As for like the S tier hit scan characters in this game, I'm pretty sure it's still hella, you know, and people on that caliber, or like Squirrel Girl and etc. Like the people that can really hit hard per shot. But Moon Knight, he can be S tier technically, but I think the majority probably consider him A tier. To be fair, I'm not too sure on all that, so don't quote me. But either way, he's still a very, very competent DPS character. Really, really good to use. He's actually been used in the top 500 ranks, you know, whether if it's one above all, Eternity, and GM, and Celestial. So, like, he's definitely pretty fucking solid. I would not sleep on Moon Knight at all. And the reason why Moon Knight really shines is because he's really good for teams that like to group up. He's good against Loki support mains, and he's also very effective with his ult, especially if you combo with your tanks and shit. He's really, really strong, or if you just get really good ult placements, you know, and you're able to get like 2 or 3 people, or just massive picks. But yeah, even just one support is a massive pick, you know. So, as you see, we do have a Groot on my team. If you ever have a Groot, always try to gravitate to Moon Knight, because that's a really good character to combo with. And you guys can either try to communicate using your ults, either with the comms, voice chat, or with, you know, your button ability, whether you're on PC or console. You can communicate it through the text chat as well. And there's many ways to communicate. But most importantly, if your tank for some reason doesn't want to communicate, which, as surprising as it is, they don't like to communicate. I don't know why, but they don't. Just look at your start screen like this, and if you see a fire, like weird glowing symbol right next to them, that means they have their ult. So, but most importantly, just try to play behind your tank and be near him for the most part, and you should be fine anyways to combo with him. Don't really try to go, you know, solo mode or stealth Moon Knight mode, you know. But overall, like, that's just rule number one. If you have a Doctor Strange and a Groot, really, really good, you know, combo usage you can get and value. So that's the first thing. But anyways, where he really shines is not only for, you know, helping out on the objective, but also when enemies like to group up and stuff. So again, he's really, really solid in that area. And of course, the combo with certain tanks. So first playstyle you could do is just classic frontlining, where basically, as you can see here, what I'm doing, you basically just want to commit as much DPS as possible, and just basically just, you know, cause havoc. Just get picks, you know, shoot your thing, try to hit when they're all in a bunch of clustered group. As you can see, I just got the Loki there. So he's a really, really good counter for Loki for the most part. Unless it's a very, very good Loki, they can potentially get away with it. But for the most part, you're going to do a lot of damage, especially when you have you know, a Loki on the enemy team. So I'm going to do my thing. Now, as you can see right there, the ability I just used, which is your Unk, it's your RB ability, or for whatever it is on PC. So when you do that ability, that allows you to basically place an Unk, and if they're within that radius of the Unk, as long as you shoot that blue Unk symbol, it's aimbot. You will get guaranteed hits, which is insane. So that's the first thing, if you guys didn't know that. So yeah, do keep that in mind. And this way, it can allow you to basically kill a lot of people either behind walls, corners, even team battles, you know, or even stealth kills. You know what I mean? So always keep that in mind. So that's the first step. Another thing you could do is you could also like play a little stealthy with Moon Knight, and you could basically you know, hide in certain areas, and then once you see the support move up and they're by themselves, throw the Unk and get a quick kill. So you do have the potential to get stealth kills, and I'm going to try to do it here. But as you can see, I couldn't because I was taking a lot of damage. Alright, I did get her. I did get her just in time, but I took a good amount of damage. So we're going to back up, get a health kit. Always try to remember where the med kits are, because if you don't, then, you know, it's going to be really problematic. Now, we do have the ult. I'm going to see if Groot, yep, Groot has his ult. So I'm going to let him know that I have my ult as well. Alright, we're going to ult here. Alright, we got a good amount of kills. So that was a pretty good ult. I would have waited for Groot, but he's not ulting, so I don't really know what his problem is. Alright, now whenever you're going against flying characters, always try to throw your Unks next to the walls. This way, if they're near the wall, you can actually get some pretty good damage. We're going to actually fall back. So there you see this, we got the Storm, that's good there. I'm going to do an Unk right there just to create some more DPS. Alright, we got the Magneto. Very nice, very nice. That's another thing that you gotta watch out for Moon Knight. For some reason, like when you have like a clear view and you're looking out in the open, your unk will glitch and hit like the balcony or the ledge instead of going to where you're wanting to direct it. So try to be careful with that too, but really only so much you can do though. It's not necessarily your fault. So we got a couple picks there. Very nice. Alright, Storm's dead.
I don't have to be center stage.
Gonna do a little bit more frontline damage. And always try to hit the tanks as well, because when you hit the tanks, since it's such a big hitbox, you're normally gonna get a lot of good hits in, and like especially group team hits as well. And think of like Moon Knight as like a, you know, he basically when he hits one guy, he hits the whole team. As long as you hit one guy, you're hitting the whole team and doing damage. Like he's a boomerang type DPS dude. As long as you hit one dude, you're gonna be hitting the team if they're grouped up. Going to get group right there. Got a good tank kill. I was trying to get the supports, but I realized they weren't going to really push, so I just went for Groot instead. Yeah, if you can, always try to get the supports, because without heals, they're basically fucked, you know, but, alright, so Shark's ulting, so I'm just going to move for a bit. You see how I stayed in the air and he couldn't get me? As long as you do that, then you can dodge the Shark ult. Pro tip if you didn't. But that's how you win that. So that's a good old quick play. Now, you know, I'm going to also show the Moon Knight in a ranked gameplay as well for you guys. Quick play is just as hard though, because you know it still matches up with like random queue and whatnot. Basically, to where you can go against a really good competent team, get slammed, or just dominate. You know, so quick play is just as contentious as rank. But I'm going to also show you guys how to utilize Moon Knight in ranked gameplay as well, which is slightly more serious and different and more competitive. And then we also got the MVP, so you know there's that too. Yeah, so that's what you gotta keep out for. So dives is technically your kryptonite and your weakness. So always keep that in mind. And not only are you gonna be dealing with it, but your supports are gonna be dealing with it as well. So don't really be necessarily counting on the heals either. So again, like if you're going against a really competent team as dives, or they do that to try to counter you, the best thing you could do is be with your team. Play with your tank, play with your supports, to stay around them. Don't ever be by yourself or be trying to go stealth kills and whatnot. You could go stealth kills and whatnot if they have like a normal standard comp or even a hit scan comp. But if they don't have that type of a comp and they have divers, you want to stay with your team. That's the best way and most effective way to win battles with your team still and basically stay alive for the most part. But I will forewarn you, you will die. You will die at certain points, so just do keep that in mind. It is inevitable, especially if you're going against a good diver or just, you know, decent divers. So, but yeah, that's really important. Now, Moon Knight's strengths, what I would recommend to always select a Moon Knight is whenever you have a Strange or if you have a Groot, because if Strange does his ult where they're all paralyzed, that's free money for your ult and you could get an instant wipe. Now, I want to be honest with you, normally when Strange ults, you don't necessarily have to ult combo and you could just kill them all, you know, just by hitting them all because they're all together for the most part when he does. So I would only ult with Strange if for some reason your team is not capable of wiping the whole enemy team when they get hit by Strange ult. So that's the only time I would actually combo with them. If not, then always use your Moon Knight's, you know, ult to like just either get really big picks or just to potentially get a team wipe on the objective, okay? So now if you have a Groot, you always want to ult with the Groot. Why? Because they can not only they can defend themselves, yeah, they're paralyzed and their movement is stopped momentarily, but they can still shoot back or defend themselves. So you want to do the Moon Knight ult for the max amount of DPS output while your team is also shooting and trying to kill them all too. So that's another thing to put in mind. And as for another strength for Moon Knight, he's really solid when they have a Loki on the team. So if there's an enemy Loki, definitely you can have fun with Moon Knight because you can just get rid of all his clones and really kill the Loki as well. He can't really do anything about it if you're pressuring the Loki. So always frontline with your tank if you can. It's gonna definitely ensure the best survivability possible when you're playing with your team. And I am getting chased from behind, but we can't really do anything about that, so we're just going to try to help our tank. And now we're going to focus Venom. Alright, we're going to do an Unk there, get the supports away. And see how we were just doing basic frontlining strats? That's really all it is. I was contemplating to go stealth mode on them and like basically go up here. And then basically, you know, hit them with like an Unk out of nowhere and try to get a support pick, but it worked out. Magneto started pushing, I didn't want to leave him behind. Good for him. One of my favorite maps is this map, the Loki map. I feel like this is a really sharp map for him. And also another good map is, I forgot the name of it, but it's like a... I'm trying to think, like a Japanese theme map where there's like a lot of rooftops and stuff and so on and so forth. If we get the map, I'll show you guys, but that's also a very, very good map. But the main point being said is always take advantage, you know, basically if you're able to use Moon Knight on certain type of maps that are just really beneficial for him, you know. You gotta watch out for that Hawkeye. He will be a problem. Nice start. We got the group. Alright. So we had to switch to Iron Fist, unfortunately, guys. Sometimes you just have to make the switch. If you're not doing enough as Moon Knight, and the front lining's not effective, or you just can't get through, and you need to get through certain push points, it is what it is. You got to suck it up and just make a switch, and either go diving to counter the team comp, or do maybe a better front line. But this was the better pick, though, to dive, based upon the comp they have. They have a lot of people that are really not that effective when it comes to dive, so that's what we decided to do. Oh, this Star-Lord. We actually got the point. Nice. Like, this is just a perfect example. Like, if you gotta switch, you gotta switch. It is what it is, you know. And again, there's no shame to it. Most games, like, here's the funny part. Majority of games, you could actually have a great time as Moon Knight and be really, really effective. But just some games, you just can't. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like I'll be honest. Like, for my journey using Moon Knight, Iron Fist, and Reed Richards, or Mr. Fantastic, like, I've had way more enjoyable, easier games as Moon Knight compared to Iron Fist. Iron Fist is actually a lot more stressful because most people typically know how to try to counter dives or normally have comps to engage with dives better. But, you know, so it can be a lot more stressful in my opinion. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes, rarely, there'll be a comp where it's just really, really great against Moon Knight, you know? So we're actually going to switch it up here, and we're going to go back to Moon Knight. So as you can see, we're just doing some classic frontlining shenanigans.
This is real. Thanks.
Just doing Moon Knight things, you know?
Behold the god of thunder! Darkness.
Nice. Good ult.
I'm ready to put on a show.
As you can see, good ult moon placement once they got on their objective. We were in and out. Alright, we're probably gonna die here because they did get some good spacing, but we're just gonna get some good frontlining, get some more action. Now this is where Moon Knight really shines, when people aren't paying attention and seeing where he's doing DPS from. That's where you're really a threat. So they're all grouping. This is really good for us.
By the eye of Agamotto!
Dumbass. That's how you take care of a Spidey with a good old unk, ladies and gents, says Moon Knight. Oh yeah, this is not even a fair game. What a massive team diff, dude. Oh my god. But again, we're just doing typical frontlining, good ult placement, good picks, good ult placement as well. Team shooting when they're grouping. Just gonna keep up the DPS.
Your powers are mine! We must not delay any longer. Can't you never rest?
This fucking Psylocke, dude.
To victory! The moon haunts you!
I need assistance.
Yeah, that's how you do it, ladies and gents. That is how you do it. But I think you guys get the gist of it, of like basically how Moon Knight operates and so on and so forth. And again, he's a really fun DPS character. It's actually really addicting to play as him, because to me it's so satisfying getting like all those like hit registrations, like when you're just hitting one dude and you're just hitting the whole fucking team. It's just so satisfying. And then especially like to build up to your ult like instantaneous when you're doing that too, like it's just peak Moon Knight vibes. So but again, the ult placements, you know, positioning, so on and so forth, you name it. And as you guys saw, that was a perfect example of me getting dived a lot here and there. Now typically what you would normally want to do if those situations are happening, because you dying can be very problematic for your team, but typically when that's happening, you either just need to switch and go dive instead, or just go more of a tank DPS that can't really get one shot that easily, and then you'll be perfectly fine. But as always guys, you know, that's basically it for the Moon Knight type vibes and tutorial.